welcome to TMZ Live. We have two big stories that we just broke. One involves Lil Nas X running naked in Los Angeles. He's hospitalized. We'll get into it in a minute. But we're going to start with Hulk Hogan because we now have new information based on the police report in the case and other information suggesting that his death was the result of medical malpractice.
Medical malpractice having to do with an injury, at least as a nurse who was on the scene, an occupational therapist who was on the scene, who feared and shared this fear with the police that during a surgery that Hulk's phrenic nerve had been severed.
And the phrenic nerve basically connects to the diaphragm, which controls breathing. What's significant here is we are told that Hulk's wife, Sky, sounded the alarm when she saw Hulk had stopped breathing. Now, Charles and I have been going back and forth because I was on the phone with sources
dealing with
45 minutes ago when he was working on the Lil Nas X story. So when I was on the phone, you say that the occupational therapist feared. Actually, what I was told was he said it. He didn't think it. He said
the nurse said
the occupational therapist said that it was the result of this phrenic nerve.
This nurse,
it's not a nurse. There was a nurse there and an occupational therapist.
Said that it actually did happen?
That's what he said. Now, I don't know the basis of it. I do know, based on our phone calls that we made, that it is in the police report and there is body cam at the scene. And I'm told that there is body cam both where the officers were discussing it amongst themselves, and presumably there is body cam when police were interacting with the occupational therapist. What is really interesting about this, and honestly we have not gotten to the bottom of yet, is that there was talk that Hulk had been cremated. Brooke Hogan, Hulk's daughter, has wanted an autopsy and said there was something suspicious here. You would think if, we don't know whether he's been cremated yet. A week ago they said he had not yet been cremated. But we don't know what the status is now. But you would think they would go for an autopsy if there was any evidence of medical malpractice.
Correct. And you remember, Hulk had two surgeries. In mid-May, he had a fusion on his neck to repair a neck injury. That's when Charles mentioned. But about a week or two or a couple days before he passed away, he had a surgery on his heart as well. So it's unclear which surgery the occupational therapist is addressing with the phrenic nerve.
So but it was a recent surgery.
So all that being said, though, you would think that if he had both these operations prior, you would want the autopsy to figure out
what wouldn't
happened.
If the police have this information from, at least as the occupational therapist put it, why wouldn't the medical why wouldn't the police order an autopsy?
I can't answer.
Even without the families.
As opposed to Sky needing it, right?
I cannot answer that question yet. I don't know the ins and outs of Florida law that way. I just don't know. But the odd thing to me is that if this was medical malpractice, you would think the family, i.e. Sky, would have a claim, and you would want that autopsy to confirm it. And that's why this is so odd to me, that as far as we know, there has not yet been an autopsy.
Correct.
And that's what does not make sense to me. You know, there are other things that Brooke wonders about, we're told, but this now we know is in the police report. And again, presumably, we're told on body cam, at least amongst the officers. And I'm assuming that the whole conversation with the occupational therapist is on.
And Sky was present when this was happening.
Sky was right there. She's the one who sounded the alarm in the first place. He was. We're told he was sitting in a chair.
Correct.
He was sitting in a chair. This wasn't a heart attack where he grabbed his heart, we're told. He was sitting in a chair.
And just stopped breathing. So there has to be an
But yet we're told
none as of yet. No.
Why there hasn't been an autopsy? And although the fact that he has not been cremated, or at least as of last week, had not been cremated, at least points to that they're talking. There's some conversations going on about this.
She put on her Instagram story that she was there was family concerns and they weren't going to cremate him until those family concerns got assuaged. So, but that was a week ago, though.
Now we know what those family concerns are.
Correct.
But she was present when the
Right.
occupational
so
therapist
she
said,
ordering it.
Exactly.
Right.
There are questions.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Cameron from Charlotte, North Carolina, and my thing is Brooke Hogan and Hulk have had a tumultuous relationship, but I want to know why so much is able to be happening without her knowledge or consent being involved at all.
I think there was not the greatest relationship between Sky and Brooke, and I think Hulk, this is my opinion, Hulk had to choose sides. And I think he was kind of caught in the middle of all of this. That's my theory.
So Lil Nas X is in a really bad place right now. And it all started at 4 a.m. Thursday in the Valley on Ventura Boulevard.
San Fernando Valley.
Yes. And this was the scene at 4 a.m. Now, I gotta say, this is one of these situations where it seems like it's one thing, and then it turns out to be something much different. So we got this video in, and I started writing the story thinking it was one thing, just like Lil Nas doing a promo, and then our producers started talking to some law enforcement sources, and became a much different story. And we thought, well, Lil Nas X has an album coming out.
Right, it almost looks like a music video.
He wasn't saying anything really bizarre in the video. We're gonna play some of it for you in a second. It just seemed like sort of Lil Nas X antics.
Right.
It turned out to not be that because there were enough people, even at 4 a.m., who saw this going on and were concerned and called the police. We will tell you what happened when the police showed up, but here is just a little bit of what witnesses were seeing at 4 a.m. on Ventura Boulevard.
Nah. Hey, don't be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. Nah, go ahead, babe. Nah. Go ahead, babe.
And there's a couple more times he referenced the party tonight. Don't know what he was talking about. There's another point where he got a traffic cone, put it on his head. Nothing dangerous, but certainly
concerning.
Yeah. Well, when the police did respond, they ended up confronting him. We are told by law enforcement sources that he ran toward the police at one point. They subdued him, put him in handcuffs, and whatever they were observing, they felt like something's not right here. It had been reported to them, we're told, as possible OD, like people who saw it were like, this guy must be on drugs.
So they took him to the hospital. Now, my sense of this, and I don't think we know this exactly, but my sense of this is that he was not arrested. He's there for observation, and they could potentially put him on a 5150 psychiatric hold. We don't know if that's happened.
He could also face charges.
He also could come out of the hospital and be booked on charges too. Right. We don't know what
They're saying he will.
I'm just wondering. I know that he charged the police, but I don't know that that's really a charge.
Public indecency.
It feels to me like it's more for observation. I mean, that's what it's feeling.
Maybe a 5150. And even with the possible overdose, when I spoke to the fire department, she said, listen, the LAPD said it's appeared he might have been on drugs, but she goes, we only transport, we can't diagnose him in the field, but that's how they're treating it right now.
So it does not feel like an arrest to me. It feels like
it's not going to be an arrest.
Some kind of observation.
As of right now, as we're shooting this, we're told he's still in the hospital getting some sort of treatment or observation. And at some point they'll figure out what the next step is going to be. But this was very strange.
It's really concerning.
And by the way, there's something about Ventura Boulevard. Someone else years ago.
See, I think it's Sunset Boulevard way more than Ventura Boulevard.
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence.
Well, that's true.
Was on Ventura Boulevard.
Matt McConaughey was on Sunset Boulevard. So I'll give you one for one here.
No, Brittany wasn't Ventura Boulevard.
No.
No, that wasn't.
No,
but
Sunset wins.
Yes. Yeah.
Sunset wins.
Sunset wins. I don't know if that's a win.
Jenna in Chicago, and while I think it would be easy for all of us to make a really funny or hurtful comment about Lil Nas strutting in the street in his underwear and cowboy boots, I think it's important that we all lead with compassion and empathy and hope that he gets the help that he needs during this time.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up. So we have been debating for a couple of days in this office, and I think around the country people are debating Governor Gavin Newsom, California Governor Gavin Newsom. And
hold on a second.
What's that?
What?
I got Sky. Sky said an autopsy has been done.
Oh,
He's not yet
hang on.
cremated.
We have some breaking news.
Be right back.
So we have been debating for a couple of days in this office, and I think around the country people are debating Governor Gavin Newsom, California Governor Gavin Newsom. And
hold on a second. What?
I got Sky. Sky said an autopsy has been
Oh,
done. He's not yet
hang on.
cremated.
We have some breaking news.
And an autopsy?
Yeah,
and an autopsy has been done?
Autopsy has been done. She did not tell me when. She did not tell me the results of it. She said they'll all come out soon. She joked that she was an accountant, so she has no idea.
Did you tell her about this?
I did. She said it is not. It's not new news to them that his the phrenic nerve was severed. She said it was not necessarily severed. She said it was compromised, and she stated that it had been for a while. So it made me think that was from the neck surgery he had in May. She didn't confirm that though. So. She said that this was a fact. It had been compromised during a recent surgery, his phrenic nerve.
So she confirmed that too.
Right.
Babcock, add that. I want you to do an update saying that Sky has confirmed that the phrenic nerve, as she put it, was quote compromised.
Do you want to do a separate story though on that he's had an autopsy? I mean, that's a big deal.
That's just,
she says you got to put it.
You got to put it in that story
as well.
Yeah, you got to do it in that.
That's just up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Says an autopsy has been. So yes, because we do. So what we were just talking about is we told you about the Hulk Hogan story and that there was an occupational therapist who. Let me come over here so they can finish talking about that. But
she confirmed the nerve was compromised, which is
so while they're getting that up on the site. We told you about the Hulk Hogan story that there was an occupational therapist at the house the day he died who told police that Hulk's phrenic nerve had been severed and that's why he stopped breathing. Edward had just spoke to Sky, Hulk's widow, and she said there was an autopsy that was done and that they were aware. She didn't say that the nerve was severed, she said compromised. So there's something to what this occupational therapist was saying. Sky is aware of it, and an autopsy has been done, so that's going to be interesting. Edward, what did she say about the results of the autopsy?
Nothing. She
doesn't know yet.
She said she's an accountant, and she made like a joke, like I don't know, I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean? She was like, I want to wait for it all to be fully done and fully buttoned up.
She doesn't actually have the results.
It doesn't seem that way.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So. That's the update to the story that we told you about at the top of the show. And we were about to tell you about this debate about Gavin Newsom. So Harvey is making a call. But we've been talking about Gavin Newsom and this new social media approach, this campaign that he's on where he is posting a bunch of images that are, and posting things that sound very much like President Trump. Same attitude, same sort of art. In fact, he's directly quoting some things that Trump has tweeted in the past.
I will say,
is it effective? Is it working?
I have been the guy who said, this is not working. He is playing Trump's game. I was wrong. I was wrong because last night
I watched. Before we go on any further, could I hear that one more time?
I was wrong.
All right, great.
I watched it. I didn't think it was going to work. Last night, I was watching Fox News, and I watched Sean Hannity. And boy, was he triggered.
Look, I know Gavin. In person, he could be a very likable guy. I know he's slick. I got it. I've got his number. But unfortunately, it is his radical policies That's where the disaster is for him. Pretending to be President Trump is not only embarrassing, it will not negate the disastrous policies and positions and the horrible state that California is in.
I thought he was going to be the nominee before. I think he's definitely going to run. I used to be a little concerned. I'm not so concerned anymore. He's making a fool of himself. Let him keep going. He's not triggering us. He's making it easier. Go ahead, Gavin. Tweet away.
I tried to reach out to him, and I have the text to prove it. And I tried to say, instead of fighting Trump and building up a legal fund, why don't you try a different approach and try to get along with Trump like he said he got along with Trump during COVID, and totally rejected it outright. And then when the podcast failed, now he's gone radical hard left. He's reinventing himself every second of every day.
So Sean Hannity is trying to talk him out of doing it. And
why did Sean Hannity think that Newsom would listen to him also? Like, I mean, I know they know each other, but they're ideologically just not on the same page.
But so I got to explain something else. The reason Tommy Lahren was on, the blonde woman that you saw, is that Gavin Newsom shaded her, and he brings her on so she can say, I wasn't triggered. They literally went after Newsom for 20 minutes on the show.
So they
were all clearly triggered.
If you're in Gavin Newsom's office, you're watching that and you're like, we got him. We got him.
I mean, hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, cable news host. The idea is to win an election.
No.
He badly, more than anything in this world, wants to be president. Worse than anything.
But my point is,
that's probably true.
You're right. Yeah. If you trigger Sean Hannity, you're also going to trigger a lot of Trump's base, right? Because Trump's base is watching Sean Hannity.
Triggering them to vote against
No, but Babcock, the point I was making was
of NDS.
The point
this is clear NDS. This is Newsom derangement syndrome. This is NDS.
They spent 20 minutes on him.
So wait, it's entertaining when Sean Hannity does it. But when the left is suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, it's not entertaining. It's just, oh my God, they're so sad. Look at that.
I find his tweets to be entertaining. I think it's funny. It's gotten him a lot of attention. I think he's got a chance to be the nominee now.
I was totally wrong on this.
So
when I watched
this, it's effective. Not for the same reasons he does.
Yes, I think he has elevated his profile, and I think he is most likely right. If you ask me right now, who's going to be the nominee? I think it's Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, I mean, we're several years out.
But if you ask me like
or Stephen A. Smith.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
Don't yesterday that it was Stephen A. Smith.
Scoff at that.
No.
Don't scoff at that.
Oh, and he wants it.
Don't scoff at that.
I agree.
Hey, this is Vic. Very far from California and Chicago. I mean, fighting over who ruined California is like watching two arsonists pointing fingers in court. Your Honor, he lit the curtains. I object. He threw the grease. You both showed up with gasoline, memes, and dreams. I mean, homelessness, taxes, content mansions. They could pick on what's worse. The punchline is, we've all silently agreed not to call 911.
Oh, God. I got lost in that metaphor.
Yeah.
I think it was a good one, but it was so good I got lost in it.
Coming up.
The first time I saw this video, it shows Senator Amy Klobuchar in committee, and then when you turn up the volume and you hear what she's saying, very well done deepfake.
So let's welcome the victim, Senator Klobuchar. Welcome back to TMZ Live.
Thank you. Great to be on again.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. Well, the dangers or risks of AI have come home to roost for one senator. And you probably saw this video. Round about the time that Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad was getting all that attention, someone on the internet decided that they were going to make a video that they posted. And I got to be honest, the first time I saw this video, I thought it was real. It shows Senator Amy Klobuchar in committee having a discussion like you would see on the news, where she's talking about some very serious issues. And then when you turn up the volume and you hear what she's saying, well, here is just a little bit of what the video was, and then she's going to be here to talk about what she's trying to do in response to this.
If Republicans are going to have beautiful girls with perfect in their ads, we want ads for Democrats too, you know? We want ugly, fat bitches wearing pink wigs and long-ass fake nails being loud and twerking on top of a cop car at a Waffle House because they didn't get extra ketchup, you know? Just because we're the party of ugly people doesn't mean we can't be featured in ads, okay? And I know most of us are too fat to wear jeans or too ugly to go outside, but we want representation.
So obviously when you hear it, then you go like, okay, this clearly isn't real, even though it was so well done. When you look at it, you got to really zoom in to see anything that looks it's a very well done deep fake.
So let's welcome the victim, Senator Klobuchar. Welcome back to TMZ Live.
Thank you. Great to be on again. Great to be on with both of you. Thank you.
What do you think of the Brave New World here?
Not too good. To be clear, when videos like that show, there are people that think it's real because it looks so real. They don't know me. They think I'm saying those words. They think I'm saying that stuff. Then the other thing that happens is even people that know it's fake, it changes their image of that politician or that school principal or whoever else has had this happen to them. And it's a lot of regular people. And so that's a problem with this and why I'm pushing so hard to take down these misleading and just horrible deepfakes, or at the very least label them so people know what they're getting. And, this came out of a real hearing. That's my real staff behind me. That was a hearing that I did with Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee about privacy and about people being able to have their own images, own their own images. And it really leads to bills that we need to pass. And Marsha and I and Chris Coons and Tillis, the four of us have a bill that really came out of musicians and came out of people, a lot of people in California who said, wait a minute, we should be able to own our own images. Well, politicians should too, and so should everyone in this country.
So it almost seems like, Senator, that now that we know that's what you were talking about in that hearing, that
I wasn't. Yeah, I was talking about privacy.
Yeah, well, it almost seems like whoever did it,
it's retaliation.
Yeah, it was almost retaliation. Whoever did it wanted to make the point that no, we have AI now, and we're going to do whatever we want. I will say the one positive that can come from this when you see this, for the general public to see it, and you're right, this happens to ordinary citizens every day, unfortunately, but it really does show the dangers of how this can happen. I mean, obviously they did it to you, they could do it to anyone, and it might not get as much attention, but at least it now alerts people to that this is a very real danger that they should be concerned about.
Sure. I mean, there's this old saying that a lie can go around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. And now what's happened is a lie can go in millions and millions of phones while the truth is still stuck on a landline. And so it is on all of us. Like, these companies are highly successful. AI can be used for great things like curing rare diseases. I have no doubt about that. But for us to just say, hey, we're just going to let the technology take over, we're not going to do anything to protect people, and then companies like X in this case profit because these things go viral, and then they make more money and the owners make more money while everyone else suffers. I just think there's no way we should tolerate it. Other countries have been doing stuff that these companies are abiding by to say there has to be labeling, it has to be watermarked. If it's substantially AI, you might have a little use of AI and then you wouldn't have to do it. And then for certain things, like for instance, non-consensual porn, we just actually got a bill passed that the president signed into law that would ban that the companies actually have to take it down, called the Take It Down Act, in 48 hours. Why? Over 20 kids a year have been committing suicide because their images, they think they can get a girlfriend or boyfriend, they send a picture, or it's AI created, and then it goes all over their whole world, their school, everyone else.
So counter my pessimism here.
Okay,
because,
go ahead.
Okay, I mean, because we see this a lot where we work. As you talk about, trying to counter it, but knowing that these lies can go around the world in a second, I think of the metaphor of the little boy or the little girl trying to plug the holes in the dam, that at a point it just becomes futile because it's a dam and there are so many of these holes, you're just never going to be able to do it.
But remember, these companies are trillion-dollar companies, and they're actually have the ability, if they have the ability to do AI, they have the ability to take these things down when they're contacted, when they're false, and label them. They do have the ability. They're not doing it. They just, you know, in my case, it was just after 2 days of work, as this thing had over 1.5 million views, TikTok actually took it down. Meta labeled it, and then X wouldn't do anything. And so if you had rules in place, they would all be required to do the same thing. I'm sure there'd be lawsuits here and there, all that stuff happening, but otherwise we're just standing down. And there have been many instances, you know, try copying a Taylor Swift song and putting it on YouTube or something, right? There are instances where people are able to control their intellectual property and their work. And we should require these companies to give everyone this protection.
Well, we wish you the best. Like you said, that video is still, I noticed this morning, still on X. It does have a label now saying that it's AI, but it's still up there. So
okay, well, that's new. Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Senator, thank you so much. Really appreciate the time.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Coming up.
Serena Williams has been hearing this for months now, ever since she was on her weight loss journey, as they say. And people have been saying, what is it? The reason people kept asking is because they wanted her to say, I'm taking whatever. Well, now she is doing that.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Serena Williams has been hearing this for months now, ever since she was on her weight loss journey, as they say. And people have been saying, what is it? Up to this point, all she said is that she has been working out.
She hasn't said one way or the other whether she's using one of the weight loss drugs.
Which is what people always say. The reason people kept asking is because they wanted her to say, I'm taking whatever. Well, now she is doing that.
My understanding is this all started with her trainer, who was saying post-pregnancy,
after her second child, right?
That after her second child, that you should lose some weight to make sure your game doesn't slow down.
She shared in Vogue that she was having some issues losing weight between like diet and exercise. And this was, like you said, Charles, right after she gave birth to her second child in 2023. And so she spoke to her trainer, and she's been taking Zepbound, which is a GLP-1 medication.
GLP-1.
We've all been messing that up today.
Do we have a soundbite with her?
Yeah, we do.
Talking about
we do.
Yes, I am on GLP-1s, and I am going public. I am on GLP-1s, and I'm not ashamed to say it and say it loud. So after my first kid, Olympia, the weight literally just would not come off. I was back on the court and I was in the gym. Oh my gosh, I was eating clean every single day without any big changes to my body. And it was really so frustrating to see the scale always stay the same, and or not. If it was anything, it was more. And I was like, are you serious? Like, are you kidding me? So I made the choice. I made the choice to get on a GLP-1, and I'm doing it now through Roe. And honestly, it was like the best decision and the best thing I did for my body in a very long time.
You know, the whole idea that people get shamed into saying it, it's like, so what if you...
I don't think she was shamed into saying it. I think she's saying it now clearly because she has some endorsement deal with this company. Yeah.
And Roe is like an online pharmacy. Basically, you can get like Ozempic online through these like, you know, virtual doctors.
But what's her connection to Roe?
So she is a celebrity ambassador to Roe. So maybe she's getting paid, you know, some kind of cut.
Well, that's what that means. Yeah, she's getting paid for it. Just like Charles Barkley is also, and he's been very open about the fact that he's working with them. So
yeah.
I just think that this...
I don't know that she was... I know what you're saying, but she wasn't... I don't feel like she was shamed into doing it.
We had a whole debate in the newsroom this morning, in the morning meeting. You know, half the people were saying, how she shouldn't do this, how dare she it's like, why is it that you have to only lose weight from diet and exercise?
It's
like if something is available.
It's the secrecy.
Why do you have to tell? Why do you,
because when you're,
why do you have to tell the world?
It's misleading when you say like, oh, diet and exercise has made me thin versus being, you know, transparent about what you're actually taking to be where you are. Because, you know, for women, our worth has a lot to do with our weight. So if you're transparent about it, that's better for everybody. That tells us the truth of what's going on.
Did she try to mislead in any way and say it was diet and exercise?
I mean, but not saying is misleading.
No, but not saying is appropriate. It's like, why do you have to tell the world? Why are you responsible for saying, here's how I lost weight? It's like, no, it's not anybody's...
But we all have eyes.
Okay.
And when you avoid it and you see it all in the comments...
Then say, hey, you look great. And somebody says, you say thank you. You don't have to say, how did you do it?
That's what everybody says.
But the point is,
when you lose
well,
weight
you
and you look great, everyone's like, "What did you do?" That's the
Who's
everybody?
Yeah, who is everybody? It's like people
Merv Griffin.
Merv Griffin
and his friends.
What my mom used to say.
Hi, Karma JC in Chicago. And I would say that Serena definitely looked like she's on something. And I think it's just for everyday people to be mindful that Serena she can pay the bills to do something if this goes sideways. So if there are some side effects that happen, she can afford to pay for that. So I think everybody else should be mindful that, this is vanity and it's not health. So we should be more mindful of our health and not let these celebrities influence us, essentially.
I disagree with you a little bit to say that it's just vanity. There's health reasons to do it as well.
Big health reasons.
And it sounds like Serena's saying that that's what her trainer was saying, that
well, it's always health.
It's better for health.
At a point, it's always health. It's both.
Diddy is not going to get a new trial, and he is not going to have his Mann Act convictions tossed out. At least if the prosecutors have anything to say about it, and they do get a word.
So
but the judge will ultimately get the word.
So Diddy already asked the judge to dismiss the case and/or order a new trial.
Just on the Mann Act.
On the Mann Act, because remember, the Mann Act is taking a prostitute across state lines for sexual purposes. And what he's saying is, look, I was the videographer of people having sex.
He's essentially saying
I was a porn director.
Right.
And that's not what the Mann Act is about.
Well, prosecutors have a much different view, as you'd expect, of this. And they said that this whole thing that he was directing or producing porn doesn't hold up because he never told anybody that he was recording, or very few people.
That's not true.
That he was recording.
They knew he was recording.
No.
He wasn't secretly recording.
He was
when
not
he
secretly.
tried to start recording, they objected to him recording. So he didn't hide a camera. You're absolutely right about that. But Cassie testified
No, but
that,
there's
of course
video.
I never wanted people to see this. It was gross.
No,
and
but she was
humiliating.
talking about distributing, Derek, not recording it. She was talking about distributing it.
No.
You're
No,
wrong.
she said,
though.
I don't want people to see it.
Right.
So why does it need to be recorded?
Regardless of Cassie.
People do it for their own purposes, and they don't release it.
But they asked her, and she said she felt humiliated.
The prosecutor said that many of the sex workers never consented, never said, okay, yes, I want you. They never signed anything. It's not.
And to Diddy's credit, he would turn off the camera when they said that.
By the way, this is a real technical point. There's not a signature when there's a tripod and a camera.
There are other things, right? The other thing that he was saying is that I didn't have sex with them. I didn't arrange their travel. It was the women who were having sex with them. So they're the ones who violated the Mann Act,
But even
not
you
me.
know this is preposterous because bringing a prostitute, paying someone for the purposes of sex is not paying them to have sex with them yourself. It's just getting sexual gratification. And he sat on the sidelines and watched the escorts have sex with Cassie. He paid them to have sex, not with him, but to have sex.
Here's the deal.
Yeah, for his
gratification.
Diddy is going to lose this. This is done just to preserve appeal, which is going to happen.
Yep.
And the reality
The
to
appeal is not going to work either, right?
There's no chance on either.
No.
He should be happy about
Although
just the
people
Mann
said
Act.
that about Cosby. So,
Fair.
that
was a different idea.
But the bottom line here is this, that if it were just the Mann Act, prosecutors never would have filed this case because nobody is going to file a Mann Act case in 2025.
Sure.
They wanted to get him
Here's
on
where
the
I
other.
agree with you completely. There's no way they would have just brought the Mann Act, so there's something unsatisfying that all they got was the fallback conviction. All they ended up getting was tiny conviction, and they missed out on the RICO and the sex trafficking.
And this is what it's about now. Basically, going into the bedroom, you're shooting video.
Yes.
And that's the yucky part of
That's the bedroom policing part. When you read these documents, you're like, are federal prosecutors really this in on the bedroom?
But now he's still got to be convicted for it.
Hi, this is Kim's Corner, CEO from South Carolina. Can you blame Diddy? I mean, you can't keep a man from trying to get home. I think the prosecution and the judge, they're feeling some kind of way because it's like, okay, you're continuously trying every tactic, every method, from talking about the conditions of the jail, from you're speaking indirectly from jail, posting on social media, so many things. And this is like, okay, you have to sit and wait until October.
Your place must be lit on Halloween.
I have a question. What kind of music do you make? You're an artist, obviously, right?
I'm not an artist.
You got a keyboard behind you?
Yeah.
And the guitars? No, you're not an artist? Okay.
I'm not an artist. My spouse is, so yeah.
All right. There's an artist in the house.
But I love the walls.
Cute.
Coming up.
The Biggest Loser fallout continues. Well, Patrick House, who is the winner of season 10 of Biggest Loser, says he's got something to say about this.
Yes, did they yell at us? Did Jillian climb on my back? Did Bob say he was going to rip my legs off and beat me with them? Yes. But at the end of the day, it was motivation that we needed.
Be right back.
Well, the Biggest Loser fallout continues. You have Jillian Michaels on one side saying they completely screwed me over with this Netflix documentary, Fit for TV, that they made me look bad. They lied about things that happened on the show. And then you have Dr. Huizenga and show producers saying, we were just revealing things that actually happened. They stand by the things that are in the documentary. In between both of them, you have all of the contestants. And we've heard from some of them who have sided with Jillian.
Right. And we've seen emails from Jillian that suggest when they say caffeine was prohibited, that it wasn't.
Yeah. In fact, we got the whole shopping list that had a bunch of caffeinated products. Well, Patrick House, who is the winner of season 10 of Biggest Loser, says he's got something to say about this. He did not say it for the documentary, though. And they did reach out to him. I mean, he won. So you would imagine, why don't they have one of the winners on? This is what he told us about why he decided to not participate in this documentary.
Bob and Jillian, from day one, when I met Jillian in Atlanta at my first challenge, to the day I walked out on stage as the winner of Biggest Loser season 10, Bob and Jillian, in my opinion, were like family. They cared about us. They pushed us to be our best. And yes, did they yell at us? Did Jillian climb on my back? Did Bob say he was going to rip my legs off and beat me with them? Yes. But at the end of the day, it was motivation that we needed. I was never offered any kind of a caffeine pill, one of those stacker pills, any kind of drugs to help boost your metabolism or help you burn calories. Bob and Jillian never offered me any kind of a bonus pill or a boost that would help me, other than the sodium bicarbonate tab that Sandy would give us just to help replace the salt we lost working out. That was the only thing that I ever took.
He feels to me like he has no dog in the fight. And he's just saying, look, I know what I signed up for. They were brutal with me, but I like that because it motivated me. And nobody gave me caffeine. And he feels like the guy you really want to listen to, kind of.
Exactly, yeah. Even speaking with him yesterday, like you could just see he was getting choked up again. He said that The Biggest Loser saved his life. Like now he has a family and kids, and he thinks that opportunity would have never come to him.
What year was it? What year was season 16?
Season 10.
Season 10.
It was 2010, I believe.
Okay, 2010 was a different time from 2025, when there are all these rules on TV. And I'm not saying back then it was right or wrong. It was just different. And people were, brutal. And, that a lot of the shows that are on now, the Survivor type shows, it's tough. I mean, they test your limits. And Biggest Loser used that tactic. But back then, nobody complained. And it was on TV for anybody to complain.
So, just to be clear, he thinks that the documentary was... I mean, Jillian has described it as a hit piece.
Yeah, he kind of agrees with her. He was like, and that's the reason why he declined, because he was nervous that it would kind of paint it in a bad light. Yeah. So he's glad that he can now speak on, the goodness of it.
It's Brittany in Erie, and I did watch the show, and even though he has a really positive review, I feel like a lot of the contestants didn't feel that way, and they felt like it was offensive, or on the other hand, he's feeling like it's motivating, but I feel like also Jillian wasn't there to stick up for herself on the show when I was watching it. So I was like, I wish she would have been on the show so she could have said her opinion. But at the same time, we know that she also is a professional and is good at weight loss and diet.
But she also didn't want to go on because she felt she wasn't going to be treated right.
Right.
By the way, you have awesome hair.
Thank you.
You really,
Thank
you do.
Coming up.
Brian Coberger is not enjoying life in prison at all and continues to bitch about it. Wrote a handwritten letter complaining about harassment he's getting in the prison.
Sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment.
Be right back.
Brian Coberger is not enjoying life in prison at all and continues to bitch about it constantly. And he's only been in for... he was sentenced less than a month ago.
To life in prison without the possibility of parole. Multiple counts.
So if he is complaining this much at this point,
Charles, he will never stop.
He has to stop.
He will never stop.
Wrote a handwritten letter complaining about harassment he's getting in the prison.
Harassment.
Sexual harassment.
You know, he's saying that you know his fellow inmates are threatening to, you know, screw
have sex with him.
Yeah.
Although I don't think.
I mean,
he's not talking about consensual.
Oh yeah, he's forcible sodomy basically.
Yeah. And he's saying he's hearing all the inmates talking about this, and so he's complaining. And
well, you wouldn't think
he
he'd
can
be
hear
received
it through
well.
the vents.
Of course. Did he think he was going to be received well? Did he think he was just going to, like, there's going to be a
oh, he heard it through the vents.
Yeah, so he's in isolation right now, okay? I mean, these inmates can't get to him. He's a very high-profile prisoner, obviously, probably the most high-profile in Idaho. He's hearing these threats, alleged threats, through the vents, because this is coming from him. And the authorities, the prison authorities, were very careful how they worded their initial statement to us. They said he's claiming this, you know, that
the guards haven't witnessed.
Correct.
So he will be complaining for the rest of his life. He was, you know, a criminal justice major, getting, I think, an advanced degree in it.
Yeah.
And
PhD.
Everything we've seen with this guy is he will make his presence known. And I think this is the first of a gazillion.
But you are in prison for the rest of your life by your choice, by the way, because you could have gone to trial.
He didn't have a choice.
He could have gone to trial.
He was going to get convicted.
And he would have been convicted, and he might have gotten the death penalty.
Right.
Well,
right. I mean, he chose between the two, and he chose life.
I don't think anyone has much sympathy for him. In fact, Harvey, just a day or two ago, we got a document dump, 600 pages from the police. In one of the documents, and we actually did a story about this, there is a notation that allegedly, it's more than possible that it was his face print that was against the window. How creepy is this?
Yeah, no, it's just awful.
Hi, I'm Liz from Oregon, and if Brian Coberger wasn't comfortable being prey, then he shouldn't have looked at other people like prey.
Well, that he did.
Yeah.
That he did.
And to your point, now he's feeling like he's the hunted.
Coming up.
Kevin Bacon had a difficult decision when your partner has a milestone birthday.
What's her milestone?
Kira Sedgwick just celebrated her 60th birthday. I don't think he put the milk before the cows.
Tater and Todd.
Be right back.
Kevin Bacon had a difficult decision when your partner has a milestone birthday. How do you mark this the right
What's her
way?
milestone?
Kira Sedgwick just celebrated her 60th birthday. Kevin had to deliver. I don't think he put the milk before the cows.
When the love of your life has a big birthday, sometimes it's important to think long and hard about something that she might really like, but she doesn't really need. Tater and Todd.
So nice to meet you.
Goat?
No, it's a cow, man.
That's a cow?
They're mini cows. Did you hear their names?
No.
Tater and Tot.
Oh, I like it. They got cows. Do they live on a farm?
Yes, they do.
Oh, wow.
They're expanding.
Are there mini cows?
They're mini cows. They're like, I mean, they're probably about yay high. I don't know.
So do they?
Are you thinking
like shot glasses of milk when they? I mean, how does that work?